So, note guide, it's a 2-pager. Did you guys notice that? That is a 2-pager this time. Okay, and the first thing on the note guide, describe some of the causes that led to the outbreak of World War I. So the start of World War I, 1914. And so I underlined European rivalries. So European rivalries, you could write that in your note guide, but let's give some details. What does that mean, European rivalries? Well, one of the things that we talked about a couple of weeks ago was European countries building empires. Do you remember that? Let me show you a review slide from a couple of weeks ago. See, it's a review. Remember the scramble for Africa, right? So the European nations were trying to build empires, okay? That's called imperialism. Oh, hint, hint. Okay, so they're, you know what a rivalry is, like in sports, you know, like where I live, it's like Carolina and Duke in basketball are rivals, right? That was happening in Europe, right? So they were like competing. They were competing with each other to build an empire. They were competing with each other to build big militaries. Yes, they were trying to build, have the most warships or the most tanks or the biggest armies, the most people, right? So these two things go, there's examples of European rivalries about the competition that was happening in Europe. And then finally, one of our favorite phrases, the balance of power. So I would write that in there too, balance of power. So because of all this competition, all of this rivalry going on, there were two main alliances that formed in Europe in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Okay, so still on the note guide, the part about the causes. So write down Triple Alliance, and then you can abbreviate. I usually just write GER for Germany. But if you think you might forget, if you go back at your notes and you say, hey, what is GER? So Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. That's the Triple Alliance. And this is interesting too. Notice that both Germany and Italy are relatively new countries at this time, right? Because Italy was 1861 and Germany was 1871. So, you know, this is 30, 40 years. That's, you know, that in the whole scheme of world history, that's not very long. So these are two relatively new countries. And I think that kind of, you know, the rest of Europe didn't know quite what to do. Germany in particular was building a huge military. And that really upset some of the other European countries. All right, anyway, that's the Triple Alliance. And then you have the Triple Entente. The Triple Entente. An entente is like an understanding. So they have an understanding. Great Britain, France, and Russia. Okay, so if you're asked about causes, these are long-term causes, right? These have been kind of building up for years. So you could say something about imperialism, so they're competing to build empires, militarism, competing to build big militaries, and then trying to have some kind of balance of power, and what that led to was a system of alliances, which can be very useful and very helpful. It can also serve to draw more and more countries into war. So there's that as well. Okay, let me see what you remember. Okay, yeah, so that is all going to be for causes that led to World War One. Yeah. So we haven't gotten to the immediate cause. So hold on, and we'll get to that. I think it's on the next slide. Or maybe, let's see. I don't remember. There we go. Yes. What was the event? What event was the spark that started World War One? Is it A, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, B, Germany's invasion of Austria-Hungary, or C, too many history tests? Do you guys like when I throw in a silly one? So, Sol, Will, Clara, Benjamin, Sam, Maddox, Sol, Eleanor, Adrian, nice, Malachi. Look at you guys go. Is everybody answering? I love it. There we go. Ethan, Liam. The answer is A, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Now, you don't necessarily have to write anything if you just want to focus on the multiple choice quiz. Just do your best. The next slide will go into detail about these things. So if you want to just have fun playing this super exciting game. Okay, see what you remember about this one. According to the Schlieffen Plan, Germany would attack which country first? Now, think for a minute. Look back at your notes. Who is Germany in an alliance with? Who's Germany in an alliance with? Yeah, because so they're not going to attack Austria-Hungary. Yeah, because they're allies. They're friends. They're BFFs. So that one is not a good option, right? So what about B or C? Nice. Yep. Malachi, Clary, Ethan, Liam. Sol, Adrian, Hannah, Charlotte. This one is France. C. Okay. Okay. This is tricky. Okay. Once the war starts, Britain, France, and Russia were known as the... So Eleanor, Adrian, Ethan. Anybody want to guess? There you go, guessing, or IDK. It's fine. Sol, Josephine, Clara, Sam, Charlotte, nice work. Maddox, good job. The allies. Yeah. So it was the Triple Entente, right? And they became known as the Allies. Okay, so now grab those handy note guides, and let's take a look. Okay, so the event, what did I say on the note guide? Hold on. The immediate event that sparked World War I was the assassination of the Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand. And when did it happen? Okay, a little bit of background. So he was Austrian, right? And the Austrians were building a big empire in Europe. So they took, I don't know if there it is, 1908, Austria-Hungary annexed Bosnia. Did I put a little arrow? Nope. Okay, so Bosnia is this area right here. Play the video. The videos have to reside in Canvas because I've discovered when I store the videos from class on, live class on YouTube, right? And then I post that link in Canvas. And YouTube, it gets kind of weird if I show somebody else's video in live class. But yes, so I have a recommendation. If you did not watch the video in Canvas, it is kind of fun, so you can go watch it. They are private, yes, so only people, I forgot what the setting is called. unlisted or something like that. So only people with the link. And if you read when I posted at the top of the recordings page in Canvas, it says you are not allowed to share links with anybody. No, you guys will just have to go to Canvas after class. Go to Canvas and watch it. Okay, so here's the thing. So Austria-Hungary, see how I put annexed in quotation marks? That's a nice way of saying they took over. They just marched in and said, okay, now you're part of Austria-Hungary. So they sent the Archduke, who was the heir to the throne, meaning he was going to be the next emperor of Austria. So he went down there to try to make the Bosnian people feel happy that they were now part of the Austrian Empire. They weren't happy, but he was trying to make them happy. So he and his wife, it's really sad, they were in Sarajevo, Bosnia, June 28th, 1914, and they were both shot and killed on June 28th, 1914. Okay, let's see. Now, the man who shot and killed Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie was named Gavrilo Princip. So I don't know that you need to know that, but just know that the assassination of Franz Ferdinand is what really started World War I. Okay? But yeah, the point is the people in Bosnia and the people in Serbia, see Serbia right here, they were not happy that Austria-Hungary just keeps taking over more land. Okay,